Hey Mitch. Hey Nancy. Just your normal everyday war veteran here, patriot. I just wanted to talk to you a quick second and let you know something that you may not be aware of, but there's a small group of us, a very small, insignificant based on your action, group of us who, due to no fault of our own, lost our jobs back in the spring of this year. The company I worked for had been open for over 20 years, and it closed down, and it closed down forever. And it wasn't because of their business practices. It wasn't because they were selling bananas and somebody came up with cheaper bananas and they weren't willing to lower their price, therefore they went out of business. No, it was because you guys, the government, in our best interest, said 2 weeks to flatten the curve, whatever it was, 2 weeks to flatten our pride, our pocketbook, 2 weeks to wipe out America, turned into 10 months, 11 months, is coming up on a year. So let me just say that we need you guys to follow through with what you have been toying with us on since, July is when you were supposed to come up with this, and you haven't. You just keep yanking it out. It's a little carrot you're dangling in front of our face and then yanking it out. But you each want credit. And I used to think you wanted credit for your party, and party was getting in the way of lives. But what it looks like to me is you're doing it for personal reasons. Nancy, you cannot control yourself. You are incapable of controlling yourself. You can't say, okay, my people in San Francisco are suffering and I'm going to do something about it. No. You're more like, how can I make Trump look bad because I hate him and his hate has consumed my life? Mitch McConnell, you are more concerned with the GOP and how the GOP looks, and if the GOP is going to look better than the DNC. And I'm telling you now, it's backfiring on you because both of you look like fools. Both of you have screwed with us and our families. You ever had anybody, and this is a rhetorical question because I know you haven't, but have you ever had someone come up to you and start messing with you and bowing up on you, and then your little like 6-7-year-old kid standing there and they start messing with you, you little punk kid, what's your little punk kid? They start messing with a family, and this rage just builds in you, like, you can mess with me, but you don't mess with my family. You're messing with our family, and we're a small group. I mean, granted, there's not a whole lot of us, just several million. So piss off one person by messing with their family, you might get out of that. Piss off millions of people by messing with their family, you're not going to get out of that, and you're doing it for personal and political and party reasons. You're not doing what's in the best interest of Americans. Guess what? You're going to pay. You're going to pay, and it's well-deserved. So, Happy New Year. Now, this little bit is to the American people who may be watching this. What do? We used to be civil, and when there was a tort committed upon us, we would go to court and we would ask the courts to say, hey, look at what's going on here. Can you help us with this? Can you be the voice of reason? Well, now procedure is getting in the way of justice. It seems as though every case that wants to bring election fraud or I'm being careful here because I've already had my first video banned, but it seems like any questionable act or tort against voters, the court is slamming the door before you even get in to tell them about it. I mean, we've all heard, maybe, I don't know how much is being suppressed, but I've heard of Chief Justice screaming, so you can hear it through the walls that there weren't riots in Gore v. Bush, and we're not going to hear this case because we're afraid of riots. Well, you know what? You don't need to have your job, buddy. You do not need to be in that position. If you're worried about the outcome of your decision that's based on law, that's based on the Constitution, then you have no business being in the position you're in. In fact, I would make the case that you're actually committing a crime yourself by accepting money for doing something that you have no intentions of doing. So what do we do as the American people? How do we get heard? That's the big question. I would love for you to speed bump. I would love for you to comment on your ideas, because what I see, and I hate to say this, but what I'm seeing on Parler and what I'm seeing on Facebook, I'm seeing this on Facebook, it's being fueled. The people are going to snap. You politicians, you judges, you are going to, and the big tech media, you're going to force the American people to say, look, guys, we tried to do what we were supposed to do. We tried to be civil about this. We went to court, and every time we went into court, the crooked judge said, I don't want to hear it. It's like those monkeys, you know, oh, I'm driving. It's like the monkeys where they go, I'm not evil, evil. Yeah, we got monkeys on the court. And so I believe what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to get justice to stand in the way of procedure. And how do we do that? We do that collectively. We do that by whatever means necessary. It's that simple. I'm not saying riot. I'm not saying take up arms. I'm not saying pull the judge out by his hair or her hair. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying by whatever means they determine to be necessary, because we're not the ones determining how far we have to take this. They are, until they open the door and they have the intestinal fortitude to say, yeah, you know, I know there may be a lot of people out there that don't like this, but it's the truth. It's justice, and it's the American way. That's a good place to end this.